So, what is the cause of moles and warts and skin tags, these issues? Because we all tend to blame the viruses and so forth. But you know what? Even with viruses, they don't come around unless they've got somewhere to play, you know, and they can get somewhere to play if the immune system is not up to par. If the immune system is not up to par, and that is why you'll have many people being exposed to so many things every day, many viruses. We are exposed to so many things you wouldn't believe it. And some people will develop or acquire um, certain viruses or bacteria, for example, while others don't. And we might say it's down to the bacteria or virus, but no, it is really down to the inner terrain, what is, happening with our bodies, what is happening with our immune system. And the immune system can be weakened. It can be weakened. It could be a momentary, thing, as is the result of stress. Sometimes when we are going through issues of stress, which stress negatively affects the immune system. And there are many things that we have to deal with that can create these problems. I mean, we are getting vaccination. We all have to get these vaccines. And oh my gosh, if we all knew what were in some of these, that's for another video. But seriously, to be injected with viruses, with viral load, because some of these vaccines that we're getting, we're, injected with viruses, and these things are, in the body. Yeah, they say, oh, it is to develop antibodies. And so when the body, when you come in contact with the virus again, the body is able to, the immune system is able to recognize and thus put up a defense. But frankly, we don't need that. The immune system doesn't need us to dictate, how and when it should fight viruses. What we ought to dictate is what we do to ensure that our immune system is strong enough to combat these things. So these manipulation that they're doing in the form of vaccination, it doesn't really help us, because even with viruses and bacteria, I mean, these things, they change so rapidly. I mean, if you were to, for example, use any kind of medication or any kind of drug or whatever in the fight against any bacteria, any virus, if you don't kill that bacteria or virus, it's coming back stronger next time. And that medicine that you had made before would not be able to stop it. So, so that is another thing that we do, these vaccination. When we look at the fact that the environment, our skin directly come in contact with so many things in the elements. Look at what we are doing to the environment. Some of us live in cities and areas where the air is literally toxic, and that is what we are breathing in. This is what comes into and seep into our skin, for example. And so that's also another issue. In addition to that, it's what we put on our skin. We put a lot of toxic things on our skin. Mind you, some of us, we don't do it knowingly, or with the intention to cause harm to ourselves, but we do it. A lot of toxic things we put on our skin, a lot of those lotions and oils, mineral oil that we're using on the skin doesn't help us. These just create a problem um, in that they seep into the skin, from the skin straight into the body, and they are toxic, and they create an acid environment in the body. So we have to look at that also. We could have weak adrenals, and weak adrenals could, of course, be linked to stress. Um, all kinds of stresses, emotional stresses, what we're dealing with, whether it is a job, relationship, feeling down on ourselves or whatever, physical stresses, accidents, and stuff like that. The food that we are actually eating that is causing internal stress in the body, because when we are taking in these things and the body has to cope, when we are bombarding the body with all this glucose and stuff, all these toxic foods that we are eating, it does put stress on the body. So, and all this medication, when we go to the doctor, we get a pile of medication. All of these things, you know, create toxic environment in the body. It causes the proliferation of viruses where they already exist, and if they are dormant, it wakes them up, because the body, the more we bombard the body with things that are, as I noted, toxic, or things that weaken the immune system, the moment the system begins to go down, that's when we usually see rising issues. We start growing, people who've got like certain viruses that were dormant, we start seeing them coming alive again. We start growing skin tags, we start growing moles, we start growing warts, and all these things. So at the end of it, what I will say is, you take the same approach. Watch video 1, watch video 2. What you've got to do is, you've got to detoxify the body. You clean your bowels. Clean your bowels. Always clean your bowels. First, foremost, clean the bowels. Clean the blood. Get a good blood purifier. And blood purifier, you want to clean and strengthen the blood. Also, you want to look at herbs also having to do with the kidneys, the liver, the spleen. You want to clean all these areas, and if you're in a toxic environment, if you're working in areas where you're breathing and absorbing these things, all kinds of things on the skin, I don't know what to say if you're working in an environment, because I know it's not easy to just hop and skip jobs, but at least try your best to do something in terms of, for the skin. Maybe protect your skin with use some of the, maybe some coconut oil, and as things like that, and some black seed oil, and rub on the skin. No, I mean things will still get in the skin, let's face it, but sometimes these are just some of the things that you've got to do. If you're in an environment that you know that you're absorbing toxins in the skin, like practically on a daily basis, then you've got to, try your best to do something about that. Have regular baths. Have salt, even the salt water baths, not table salt, mind you, but salt water baths, with sea salt. Have your herbal baths where you can get to, relax and have